gosh, this is Andy. What do we do? Oh gosh, it's Stevie.
Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm on it. I got it. Welcome to the Blighted North, a D&D 5e campaign that we're playing here on GutPunchRP. This is the halfway point. Every moment from here on out, you're closer to the end than to the beginning. I guess that's always technically true. Anyway, but yeah, we are sponsored, of course, by Dungeons Gate, a local Midwestern game shop that has like really cool stuff, like game nights focusing on like, you know, queer people who like magic and stuff like that, which is great for where we are. Anyway, what else do we have? We're raising money for the Transgender Law Center this quarter. Yeah, I guess that's what we call it. But yeah, that's if you have, you know, $5, maybe throw it in that pot because there's a lot of stuff that needs a challenge in. Yeah, and maybe we'll get a total at the end or something. I don't know. But those are the two things that we do, right? That is 1 and 2. Jess, we all good? Okay.
I mean, there is the little bit of what we are, but
oh yeah, I said we're at. Let's just
it's
start
fine.
over. Just start it over. But
pick up
yeah,
from the top.
just right from the top again. Yeah, we'll just dive into it. Can't get any worse, right? We'll start with introductions, who we're playing, and then we'll go with the recap. I am Kai, Khelornë Creative. I am your GM here, being super successful and put together. Let's go with. I don't think I've ever made Jess start. Go ahead, Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess or Jessica, Dr. Psychowl on the things and the stuff, except for on Twitter where I'm Dr. Psychowl TV, and I am playing Mathia, a Goliath Forge Domain cleric. And I'll pop it over to C.
Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharper. And tonight I have the absolute pleasure of playing Solar, who is really just a vehicle for me playing a polar bear, whose name is Moon. Solar uses they, he pronouns and is a dragonborn ranger. And I'll pass it over to D.
Oh, hello, my lovely children of the dark. My name is D, and I am playing Patches. Patches is a creature of indiscriminate race and is a Path of the Beast Barbarian Monk multi-class. Patches uses all pronouns, much like myself. And I will pass it to the gaming author.
Hey everyone, I'm the gaming author on the internet. Basically everywhere you can find someone on the internet, that's what I go by. I go by Zach in real life, and I, as always, am playing Zadrin Moonforge, a half-elf armor artificer who is about to walk into his hometown for the first time in way too long and be horrified by what he finds.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Drop. Previously on the Blighted North, the journey through the last forest, a huge swath of trees that dominate the northwest portion of the continent of Stormvale, has been an arduous one. The party has been under siege from the moment they set foot under the unnaturally dark canopy. Most recently, they faced down a band of shadow wolves, creatures that typically serve the dark goddess Shar. Bum, bum, bum. After defeating them, the party found a member of Elric's small mercenary band, very badly injured. He told them his party had fallen, and a giant wolf, something as large as a house, had taken Elric, which unsettled Solar, hearing such dire news about a childhood friend. The news of the town standing empty further lit a fire under Zadrin. This is where the party finds themselves, in a clearing in the midst, near the end of their short rest. But we'll go around and just kind of reiterate what we're all doing as the battle has ended. You've had a few minutes to breathe.
Zadrin was switching his armor configuration for from the infiltrator to guardian, so kind of preparing to get his hands literally dirty going forward.
I think Mathia, seeing Zadrin, would walk over and kind of give him a look and a nod that just says, like, silently conveying the I'm here for you, but I'm not gonna say anything, and then we'll just methodically start like doffing her armor and taking and hammering out the couple of places where she took a couple of hits during that fight and just like focused on cleaning her armor.
Zadrian definitely sees that and returns with a nod of his own. Doesn't say anything, but you can see him, like, a lot of the tension in his neck and shoulders does start to relax a little bit, taking comfort in the knowledge that, you know, however bad a state his home might be in, he's not going to be dealing with it completely alone.
After sharing that moment from the end with Patches, I think Solar has kind of returned to Moonside and is doing the thing where they're pretending not to be as worried as they are and are putting all of that energy instead into like washing her fur down from wherever there might be like blood or burrs, and just like really meticulously, even like after she's completely cleaned off, like we'll just go through again just for that extra bit of like making sure their hands have something to do so they don't have to process the news that they had just received. And despite this, I think there are some moments where Solar occasionally will glance over his shoulder and stare off in the direction of where that mercenary had gone to, and then we'll pivot in the direction where the village is, like toward that direction, before like turning back and refocusing on Moon.
All right. So now as like the short rest is coming to an end, you all are you've had this time to just breathe a little bit, and now you're coming back together. What are you guys deciding are the next steps you're going to take in this battle through the forest?
Well, it does kind of seem like Elric's group got surprised, but we won't be surprised when we head in there, at the very least. I think that's something.
No, we won't. The size of that wolf, though. Solar, you're the one who knows nature, knows animals. I can only make my best guesses. How, given its nature as a wolf, how easily can something that size actually hide?
You'd be surprised at the kind of things that can hide under the tiniest leaf sometimes. It's not out of the question, especially considering that these wolves, and Solar kind of gestures around to the bodies that are in this little clearing, that if they're able to cloak themselves in darkness, we might be off on the wrong foot the second that we step into that village. I don't suppose that diamond is also a gem of true sight.
What luck that would be, though.
I'm pretty sure it is just diamond.
It may be worthwhile trying to set up some kind of diversion. Even if we know that it's a trap going in, making them reveal their hand because they think we're weak, not necessarily a bad idea. Wolves are also predators. They'll hunt anything that looks weak enough, and they probably won't be super protective of themselves if they think that we are weak enough. So if one of them goes in there and acts injured, while the others hide, it might be a likely way to be able to draw them out, if need be.
That makes sense. We will have to be quick, however, if we want to keep them alive.
Well, I like this idea, and I can play it both ways. I can either be the distraction. I have ways of making myself extraordinarily difficult to pin down, or I can sneak in as well. I still have 1 charge left of invisibility in this armor.
It's go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It is difficult to know whether or not this would work because they're not correct wolves. Yes, that's the biggest problem, is that we can't account for any changes in behavior. I think it would be easier to use human bait than the animals. They could react better on the fly.
Then I would like to be the distraction. If there's a chance that they chose Khelornë for any specific reasons, maybe someone who should be there but wasn't would be enough to get them to reveal themselves. And this armor, in this mode, it can project a field of magical force that actually can take a couple of hits for me if things go really sideways really quickly. And I know my judgment is... I can't think as clearly as I would like to, so maybe it's just letting me do the stupid thing.
You get it out of your system.
And we have your back. We'll be able to get to you fast. Patches could jump 10,000 feet if they try hard enough. And Moon and I will be able to rush over as well. We won't be far behind you.
I too can also get to you very quickly. I also don't need to get to you to make sure that you are safe.
Remind me, is thousands is more than hundreds?
Yes. Although I was technically doing a metaphor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say that I don't think I can jump that far. But it was, okay, a metaphor. Yes.
Okay, but what if we combined effort and you jumped on my shield as I also, like, pushed you?
That sounds fun. How much time do we have?
Probably not enough time to throw you into the air as hard and fast as we can without a really good reason. But maybe we'll find a really good reason.
That just sort of just like does like a deep, like overly dramatic sigh and drags themselves over to Luna and just like drapes themselves over the polar bear dramatically.
Moon turns and kind of like
Moon, yes,
snuffles
I'm sorry.
against you. No, you're all good. Luna is also very cute, but they turn and like kind of snuffle against you, like they're like she's also very sad that you're not going to get to like be projected into the air.
Perfect.
All right, so we have a plan, and you have a few miles to go. But like as you start moving through the woods, anyone who is feeling perceptive, go ahead and make a perception check.
I see absolutely nothing.
Neither do I.
The dice have decided who's feeling perceptive tonight, and it's not Solar. 12.
It's a 23 for Patches.
Oh, okay. So some of y'all are kind of meandering aimlessly through the woods, just thinking thoughts. And Patches is just like with the spirit of the best hunter that the forest has ever seen, starts noticing little things. The forest, you would all notice this, is more silent than it has been to this point. Like it's almost like something is sort of deadening the sound, but there's definitely no like real animal life. Most of you don't see a single thing moving besides yourselves. Patches, on the other hand, is noticing a few things. The trees around you, every I don't know, 5 trees or so, there is a little symbol carved into it, and the symbols sort of vary. You would guess that they maybe do different things if they actually do anything, but the one that you notice repeated the most is a circle that's almost looks burnt into each of these trees, and it has this deep purple dye around it. And the middle looks a little scooped out in a lot of them, and it has an almost like obsidian looking bit of black in the middle.
I will reach out and just sort of like paw at Mathia until she looks over.
Yeah. What is it, Patches?
What do you suppose that is? That symbol? It is appearing in a more frequent pattern than the others. Do you see it? No, not. It's so to your left, a little.
Oh. Wait.
Other left.
Oh, hang on. Which hand makes R?
Looking for the L. The L.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Right.
But the thing is that like when I turn them, like they both make L.
Solar also starts to get confused.
Patches
Wait,
looks at their
why?
hands like, "What is happening?" It's right there. Look.
Oh, okay, right there.
It's appearing more frequently than the others. What do you suppose it means?
DM.
Do you want to go ahead and give me a religion or arcana check?
They're both +0. I'm best cleric ever. I have no fucking clue what this symbol of Shar is.
That's about correct. I mean, yeah,
Did
sure.
Patches give it a go?
Yeah. If you want more info, definitely. Anyone. I feel like it's been pointed out. If you feel like you would know anything about this, give me a roll and why it might work.
I rolled an unnatural 20 for history.
Okay.
If that would work.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely work. Shar would definitely appear in multiple texts. This is like a god. And there's been wars between the gods, and they destroy entire countries and the world and stuff. So this is a symbol of Shar. It's used by her priests and priestesses to mark each other, kind of. But this one is not being used in a manner you've necessarily seen before. But it just has an air of something that might be able to tell that there are people around it. Like, in the way of, like, looking glass sheens, it has a little bit of an unnaturalness to it that is suffused with magic.
I think it's looking at us. I think it's... And Solar shifts back and forth. It's like, some kind of religious symbol, but, some kind of seeing eye. We're probably already being watched if we haven't been since we got anywhere close to this town at this point.
I'll get closer to it.
You can see yourself reflected in it for a second. And then it almost looks like an eye blinking at you from the other side, and then that bit of glass cracks.
I think I broke it.
Having heard all this, can I look around and see if I can find another one?
Yeah, when you're looking for them, there are a couple others, kind of spaced in a more even way than the other markings. So it probably is forming something like a perimeter, or, you know, at intervals that would make sense if you wanted to know if people were getting close. But also at this time, go ahead.
I walk up to the nearest one, completely blank expression, look dead into it, and say, I will give you, if you can hear me, this one last chance. leave my home. And I just keep walking.
After that happens, there's like a pause of a second where the forest is again just the sound of footfalls from Zadrin as the rest of you are kind of looking at this one that Patches broke. And then you just kind of hear the softest rustle of wings as a black owl flies over you all and then just is headed in the direction of town.
Yeah, I think we're no longer going to be surprising anyone at all with anything. Even a little bit. Yeah, we're fucked.
Good. Fuck them.
Let's bring the fight to them.
I agree.
So you're still a bit from town. Now you have this definite feeling that you are being watched. As you come over this crest and you're looking at the town, it again looks absolutely empty. It is quiet. There is like smoke, but a smoke that doesn't stand out against anything. Kind of like if you have a sky background and there's something like midnight blue on it, like it's just a little off, but you can tell it's happening. So that's coming out of the longhouse, which Zadrin would recognize that is sitting at the center of town. Then you are... I don't know. Then you are. That's not really what I was trying to say. Then as you're sitting on top of this, there is the first time in this journey you've heard something besides you very distinctly. There is the tiniest crack of a branch. Let me just send a message real quick.
Terrifying. Thank you.
It's... And I'm gonna put this on the board because it doesn't super. It's coming out from behind just a tree, kind of appearing in the same way as like the other things, where it's like they were hiding and waiting and then sort of rolled out of their hiding place. There is what Zadrin would recognize as one of the scouts of the city, a mounted archer for all intents and purposes, who just has always ridden around and, you know, escorts travelers, keeps stuff safe. They don't really look corrupted in any way, shape, or form. Still the clean armor and like a bare face that you absolutely recognize. The only difference in uniform is that they are wearing the symbol of Shar hanging down as a necklace. And they sort of look over all of you. And Zadrin, do you have your helmet all the way on, or can your face be seen?
The helmet's off.
And they have their helmet on, like one of the ones that has like the leather mask in front a little bit. And they lock eyes with you. And very clearly say your name. Zadrin, you shouldn't be here. Of all the times to come home, this is not it.
Well, based on what I've seen in getting here, I'd say this is actually the perfect time for me to be coming home.
You're too late to stop anything, and all that will happen is you'll die.
You and yours have been doubting me for years. And if this is how I finally get to prove all of you wrong, then I welcome the opportunity.
Big words for someone who's walking into God's house. And they like kind of open their hands as they say this in just like the most cult way that anyone possibly could. And go, but if that's your choice, I guess we can start. And they, as fast as possible, pull their bow and pull back an arrow and shoot it at you. And we'll roll initiative. Shit.
Okay.
And Mm.
Oh, god damn it, Patches.
Digital dice are hating me tonight.
Me
Uh-oh.
too.
That's no good.
And my physical dice aren't faring much better.
Perfect. Terrible.
18?
Okay, solid. What else we got?
7.
5 for
Okay.
Mathia.
4.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just write that down. I started too low, Patches.
I don't think I have rolled above a 10 for initiative this entire campaign.
That's it's rough times. It's rough times. Okay, this little dude is what's his guy one? Okay, so they have taken out their bow and pointed it, but before that arrow looses, with a very, very fast action, what do we got from Solar?
You said they were a mounted combatant? Not to be like, well, I'm a better mountain combatant than you, but Solar immediately got like a little defensive because if Zadrin like knows this person, it's like, oh well, they're not a better mounted combatant than I am. So let me just and they like move in perfect sync with Moon, where they just dash up so fast to close the gap, and they're gonna try to use their lance to knock the bow and arrow like out of this person's grasp before they can even get it fired off. If I can get up in time.
How far does Moon go?
Moon has, let me see, 40 feet.
Okay, should get there, which
And I do
would
have
be
reach.
yeah, 10 feet would be the reach.
Beautiful. Yes, I have 10 feet of reach.
Okay.
All right, I will make that attack. Thank you, Moon, for having more feet than me. Ooh, that's almost definitely not gonna hit. With a 6 for the first attack.
Yeah, no, that won't hit.
No. And a natural 1 for the second. This is embarrassing. They are a better mountain combatant than me, and I'm upset.
Yeah, your lance flies out, and even though they're like pulling back, they just do that like thing in a saddle where they lean backwards off of it, and as you try with the other one, they're still just a smidge further away now than they were before, and you can't quite land a hit on them. Which brings us to that person's turn, who's definitely shooting at Zadrin. How does that work? It's something like this. Oh shit. This one is hard to read. 16 plus 5 for a 21.
That hits.
Okay, so that will be... I tried something new with the monitors, and it's not working super great. Alright, that will be 5 points of piercing damage as they are leaning back off of their dire wolf and just loose an arrow at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's melee's. Okay, and that will be their turn, but since they are feeling pretty confident, they will actually just take a couple feet and go on this side of this rock right here on the dire wolf. And that will bring us to Zadrin with Mathia on deck.
All right. Well, since he wants to be a cheeky little sob, I'm going to not even... How far away is he from me?
He's 30 feet from the front of the sled, which puts him about 35 from you.
35 from me. Okay. That is an amusing coincidence. All right. Then I am going to... I'm just going to cast Catapult at him.
All right.
So that is a... Where's my spell save? DC 16.
Okay.
DC 16 dexterity saving throw.
Alright. This is also hard to read. They fail, and as you are like scooping this chunk of ice at them, it just hits them right in the side of the head.
Excellent. That is going to be 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
12 points of bludgeoning damage. And yeah, it just kind of knocks their mask off to the side a little bit. But they just kind of shake their head and sit back up and just give you a glare.
Yep. And I'm just going to use my full movement to just charge as close to them as I can get.
All right. Scooch over this way. Right, so like there. That's mostly correct math. It's fine. So you're about 10 feet from them right now.
Cool. That's all I got.
All right.
Actually, no, it's not all I got now, because bonus action,
Oh shit.
I can use my... Where is the defensive field? Guardian armor. As a bonus action, you can grant yourself 8 temporary hit points.
All right.
Now I'm done.
Excellent. All right. Then we have Mathia with patches on deck.
All right, I would like to how far away am I?
I mean, you are closer than Zadra, but you kind of have to go around the rock, so it's still about 35.
Okay, so I will use my movement to move up 30 feet, and then I will use my action to move the rest of the way to get in melee with.
Okay, you can dash and be right in this guy's face right there, like that.
Exactly, and just with a, like, a puny man, and like just smacking the mace against my shield to make that annoying metal on metal sound, like, pay attention to me now, and just get up in his face, ready for him to try to leave.
The wolf makes a snap at you. They do not take their eyes off of Zadrin as they go to knock another arrow. Anything else, Mathia?
That is it.
All right, so it's Patches.
Patches is gonna get really mad as a bonus action. And then I think when I go into a rage, instead of my tail splitting into a blade, I think the hands will turn into the knife fingers as they do. And I will get a 5-foot running start, and I'm gonna make a jump over to that person.
Okay.
I'd like to try and tackle them off of their mount.
All
if
right.
I could.
I mean, yeah, we can do a ye old, I guess, contested strength throw.
Okay,
They're gonna
fantastic.
lose.
First, just to double check, because I do have to jump over to there, so that's like 40 feet. That's a 40-foot jump with my movement. So I do get over there, and then contested strength, you say?
Yee.
Okay. All right.
17?
27.
Okay. Yeah, you sort of tackle
Or
them.
no, 25, sorry.
I mean,
24.
Still handily just
Wolves.
knock this person from their mount, and this wolf just runs off. This wolf does not care. It's like, nah, I'm good. But they are going to be just gonna be a little prone guy. As yeah, you knocked them prone. And you were trying to, I mean, you can have them grappled too. It's just so it's good.
Sick.
Good stuff.
I will just hold them onto the ground, and then I will get very close so that they can see my eyes, like kaleidoscoping, and I will say, I highly recommend you rethink this.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. All right, let me just roll something real quick. I don't need to roll one of these. We're not going to make it hard. Ooh. Why do I choose unreadable die? What if this one has white font? Come on. Okay. Okay. All right, so we are back at the top, and Solar, you have just seen Patches fly through the air and tackle this person to the ground. This is the only combatant you're seeing at present. What are you up to?
Solar, rather embarrassed but happy that this person is no longer on their mount, will have like churn Moon real fast and charge over there as well. And I think as they get over there, they are instructing Moon to not attack this person, but to, you said they were wearing a necklace of Shar?
Mhm.
To chomp on that necklace and try to pull it off of this person. Just in case.
Yeah. Go ahead and do melee attack from Moon.
Sure. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Plus 5, 25.
All right, Moon, with just the utmost precision, goes ahead and grabs this necklace and just rips it off. And it's fairly cheap metal, so it just kind of like crunches into like a little accordion of I don't know, probably something that the bear doesn't want in his mouth, but yeah, it's off of this person for sure.
And as Moon is kind of snarling with the little bits of this like pendant in her mouth, Solar leans over and also says, I highly recommend listening to my friend, because if you aim one more arrow at any one of my friends, we're gonna kick the shit out of you.
Yeah. Anything else on that turn?
No, I think that's it for me.
All right. Yeah, and now you have this pinned, de-necklaced ranger in the middle of all of you, pretty much, and they are struggling. The taking off of the necklace does not seem to have changed what they're doing. They're also under duress, so maybe it's hard to tell, but they will. They are just from their back going to yell out and be like, yeah, they're just going to say, comrades, get them, and kind of like spit that out at all of you, but clearly as a yell to other forces that are probably somewhere nearby. And with that, here are some other forces. Okay, let me actually read this thing that I'm supposed to be reading in 1 minute. This is... Yeah, that's gonna, I guess, help somebody. So there is a pause where there just seems to be a moment of absolute silence where it's just the 3-4 people struggling right here and then nothing around you. And then all of the sudden, you are all going to hear a boom as though thunder is cracking over you, and you are having Thunderwave cast upon ye, which is a 15-foot cube. So it'll get all of you and him, right? 1, 2, 3. Let me move over so I can see my own board. Yeah, you'd be on top of them. So that'll hit everyone for sure. Which is going to be a con save of 15.
That. Ooh, I have proficiency in this one. Okay.
Solar and Moon both fail.
Oh,
Okay.
buddies.
Patches fails as well.
I rolled a 14, so I'm going to use one of my uses of Flash of Genius to add my intelligence modifier to the roll to make it 18.
Okay, excellent. So what we are doing is...
Mathia fell too.
Oh, Mathia. This does not have a little rolly button, so let me get out my D10s real quick. That's not right. They're D8s. How do you play D&D? Wow, let's go. Which, classic, that's 7 points of thunder damage for everyone who failed. And you are pushed 10 feet out from the center point, which was this other person, who they don't care that much about, so they probably thundered them too. But they passed with a natural 20, so that's fine. Okay, and then if you pass, you're gonna take half of 7. 3 points of thunder damage, and that's all that happens to you. So then it is quiet for another moment. Let me put old buddy out here, though. This is like right here, coming from behind that tree and stepping around and hitting you all. And then it is silent for another moment, and all of a sudden the exact same thing happens, and a giant burst of thunder comes out from this person who is behind this tree. And attacks you all one more time with feeling for the same save.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
Solid.
16 for Moon and a 6 for Solar. Classic.
I got 2 higher than last time, so that's an 8.
Okay. Who failed the first time? I'm sorry.
Me.
Me.
Oh, he couldn't have hit all of you, so let me... fuck. Like that. Okay, so this one, it would have been just Zadrin and Moon in the attack, so you don't... If you weren't in there, don't bother. But yeah, so Zadrin and Moon, if you failed, you will take 8 points of damage and be pushed another 10 feet. And now we have the problem of separate dice. Because now Moon passed, but you failed, right, Solar?
True.
So you fly 10 feet off of Moon's back and just kind of bounce off this tree, but manage to keep your feet. And then we
That
have
is so funny to me. I love
Moon
it.
just being like, wait, where are you going? Looks back over their shoulder like, come on now, get it together. And then this is this, and we have one more who steps out from behind. Where'd they go? They were behind that rock. So they'll come from behind this rock, and they are going to go ahead and try and shillelagh Mathia right on top of the head with their little druid staff. Like, you don't hear anything, and then you just hear the crunch of snow and hear the swinging of something heavy through the air. For 22 to hit.
So as I hear it swinging through the air, I turn around and immediately raise up my large shield, and it comes crashing down on that shield instead of me.
Nice. All right. So that will be the 3 druids who have now appeared on the battlefield, surrounding you and harassing you with thunder and sticks, really. But that is their turn, and now we have Zadrin with Mathia on deck.
I have been thunder waved far too many times today. So, I drop my shield, draw my longsword, and in the loudest, at the absolute top of my lungs, I roar to all of them. I am Zadrin Moonforge, and this is your last chance. Surrender or die. I do not want to kill you.
The one who just tried to bonk Mathia goes, oh, hey, Zadrin. Just some dummy in a cult.
Utterly flabbergasted, I just kind of, longsword in one hand, my thunder gauntlet pulsing with arcane energy at the same time. I just look at him and go, I was like, well? Did I stutter?
Yeah, he looks like he's still just gonna try. Like, he's definitely gonna fight y'all.
All right, well, then him specifically, is he within 30 feet of me?
Yes, he most definitely is within 30 feet of you.
All right, then I'm gonna... I am going to, instead of doing what I was thinking, to further drive my point home that I am not fucking around with this, I am going to spells on my last 2nd level spells slot. I cast Mirror Image.
All right.
And again, 3 more perfect copies of me just flash out of my armor. And that's all I got.
So now there are 4 Zadrins standing on the field in intense rage on their faces. And that brings us, of course, to it's Mathia, right? With Patches on deck.
Turning around, looking at or just facing this druid, kind of seeing the exchange between Zadrin and this guy, just being like, kind of giving the look of like, are you really sure you want to do this? And then takes the mace and kind of like, because it's got that leather grip around the wrist, and drops it from her hand to let it swing around, and then on the upswing comes and tries to hit the guy on the top of the head with it.
Nice. Very hittable.
Well, it's only a 13, so
That'll hit. He is in like light leather armor. He's just not very strong.
so we'll that's max damage for 11 points of bludgeoning, and we'll go ahead and do the additional 6 points of radiant damage on there.
Okay, so that's make it like that. All right. Anything else from Mathia?
I think that is good.
Yeah, he is like crackling with that energy and doubled over from just this absolute crack on the back of his head, and it's just like there's now blood pouring down the side of his face from that. He's looking like maybe the cult was not for him at this point. But that'll bring us to Patches.
Patches is going to look at the closest fool to them and say, should have listened to Zadrin. And I would like to just go Tasmanian Devil on the closest person I can get to.
That'll be this guy by this tree over here. Unless you want to keep attacking dude on the ground, who would still be on the ground.
We can start with that guy. We'll
with
get back to dude on the ground.
That's down here? Okay. All right, so you fly at that druid who was one of the ones who was out here thunder waving everyone.
Very true.
What do you do to him?
I am going to make a reckless attack for the first one.
Nice.
That is a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
Fantastic. I'm going to, should I roll all the attacks first or go for do them one at a time?
You can do them one at a time. Yeah.
Sounds good. So this is going to be numbers. I'm so good with them. Yay. 9 points of slashing damage on the first.
Mhm.
And then my second attack is a 24 to hit.
Definitely.
And that is 8 points of damage on that one.
Okay.
And then the third attack is another 17. And that is 10 points of slashing damage.
And with that slash, how would you like to end this unwise cultist's life?
I would like to end his life absent-mindedly, let's call it. Patches does not care anymore. Just done. And then I'm going to spend how much movement did it take me to get to him?
Yeah, it was 15.
Okay, then I should have enough movement. I've got 30 more feet of movement. 30 more feet?
What?
No. 20 more feet of movement. 0 in the wrong place. 20 more feet of movement. Does that get me to that downed person?
That'll get you right back over to them.
Wunderbar. Then I'm going to spend a key point in Flurry of Blows and take 2 more attacks at that one.
Okay.
The first one is a 19 to hit.
That will hit, yes.
And that is 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And the second one is that one is only a 13 to hit.
That will glance off their plate armor as you come down in that swipe.
Gotcha. And that's Patch's impression of the Tasmanian Devil.
Okay. Whew. Oops, that was unexpected. It's not something bad, I guess, technically. But as we come to the top of the round, Patches is just on top of this person, absolutely trying to like rip their face off with their bare hands. We have everyone else spaced out, focused on different druids who just showed up and started thunder waving people. And then just from far, like you can see the village, but from about halfway between where you are in the village, so that'll be about 10, 15, 20, about 60 feet away from the back half of the party, you hear the call of, in a very familiar voice to Solar, "You all are making an awful noise, and just when we were getting the ceremony underway." And it is the sort of like raspiest, most someone else doing a bad impression when they're cold version of Elric's voice that you've ever heard. And as you turn just your head to look and see where this voice is coming from, emerging from between the houses and the trees is Elric and his friend, the wolf the size of a house. And he just has his hand in this animal's fur as he is moving slowly forward and looking at you all and goes, "But that doesn't matter, because they'll end you here and then I can go home." And that's where we'll take a break. A little early, but he rolled a nat 20 on his initiative. He's just a little guy. He's just shaped like a friend. It's just a zombie man and his wolf pal.
That's Sarulf right there.
I'm
That's
stress
Fenrir.
panting. I'm sweating.
Oh yeah, it's a little sweaty in here. But yeah, so now you have on the board the largest wolf anyone has ever seen, and a familiar face in a childhood friend who's maybe a zombie. So we'll take 5 right there and let everyone stretch out, release their shoulders, and come back to this awful fight that's about to happen. All right, see you in a few.